While the masses have lost access to basic amenities, valuable resources of the nation are under threat of being ceded to foreign nations. Today, trade unions held a protest yet again to oppose a move to lease the East Container Terminal of the Colombo port to an Indian company. All port trade unions which converge at the premises of the Colombo port this afternoon marched towards a roundabout near the Chaitya Road while displaying banners citing their demands. Venerable L.A. Gunawangsa Thero also arrived at the location. Following the arrival of the Thero, the protesters engaged in religious observances. We did this after discussing with Minister Johnson Fernando. The gantry cranes were imported based on his advice. By today, he has presented a cabinet paper to either sell these or to auction it. We would like to know who is influencing this. There has been no answer to that till now. If they are doing this because of Indian influence, Sri Lanka is destroyed. Even the unborn generations are doomed. We pledge to rake in a profit of 50 billion rupees annually to the treasury if we are allowed to commence this operation. We began the struggle to lay down our life if need be. It does not matter who presented the cabinet paper, the Yahapalna government or Johnson Fernando. We will band together to defeat it. We request the President and the Prime Minister to issue a written statement promising not to sell this as an election promise for the upcoming general election. Our behavior in the future will be decided based on that promise. Our Prime Minister claims the mayor who destroyed an archaeological site will not be harmed. We would like to state this to the Prime Minister. If you are ready to cede the East Container Terminal to foreign nations, we will not leave a single hair of your body unharmed. Do not sin selling national resources. We need a written promise claiming the East Container Terminal will not be handed over, the MCC agreement will not be signed, and that the oil tank farm will not be sold to foreign powers. If not, we wish you all the best at the upcoming election. We are prepared to launch protests until we regain control of the East Container Terminal. Gotabaya Rajapaksa was ascended to power to protect these, not to sell them. We chased away a government that leased the country's resources. Everyone knows who I am. I don't usually come for these things. I have an ache towards the East Container Terminal. My sincere request from the government is, do not get into our bad books. Do not carry out anything in secret. I get to know everything. Do not worsen the situation. Venerable L.A. Gunawangsa Thero issued a warning as well. We are the ones who supported to create this government. Others should not try to reap the benefits of our hard labor. We will give the government some more time. If this is not resolved, we will take to the streets.
Sri Lanka's geopolitical location is of utmost importance to foreign powers. Many world powers, including America, China and India, are relentlessly pursuing their efforts to gain a foothold in Sri Lanka. And this has been made easier for these powers by the pathetic foreign policy followed by successive governments. A political party that aligns itself before an election with one particular nation or bloc of nations is then obliged to help that bloc if it comes into power. This is what has happened in the past. When Sri Lanka favors one nation over another, it creates an imbalance in the intricate geopolitical situation. Nations who have interests in Sri Lanka's position and feel threatened then come asking for their own pound of flesh, and this is a never-ending cycle. The situation involving the East Container Terminal is a classic example of this. Let's consider for a moment the national assets more or less ceded to China. The strategically important south terminal of the Colombo port, the Colombo port city, the Hambantota port. A majority stake in all these invaluable assets is held by China. And China's largest regional competitor is India, our neighbor. So is it a surprise that India would now want to ensure her interests are protected? While all of these nations work overtime to protect their own interests, who is looking out for Sri Lankan interests? Despite successive governments claiming our foreign policy is a non-aligned policy, The actions of every government has been diametrically opposed to this policy. When will Sri Lanka be blessed once again with foreign ministers of the caliber of Lakshman Kadragamar or ACS Hamid? Sri Lanka's strategic geopolitical position is for Sri Lanka to benefit from and not India or China or the US or any other nation. All of these nations are welcome to invest under our conditions, not the other way around. Let's also not forget that discussions regarding SOFA and the MCC, which are currently in a state of limbo, AXA is already signed with the United States. The people remain vigilant of whether our nation's sovereignty would be compromised by signing these agreements. If those given the opportunity to lead Sri Lanka feel the need to betray our sovereignty, then they can go back to the country of their citizenship and leave Sri Lanka to manage its own business. Sri Lanka is for Sri Lankans. Let all politicians from all parties remember that unassailable fact.